a definitive moment in American pop culture at that time. It was sort of the gates getting flung open, and in the eyes of the folk community, a moment of blasphemy.
I walked and I crawled on 6 crooked highways.
This project was untitled for a fair portion of its process. When the title Complete Unknown came in, I was wondering, what was your reaction to it? Like, what did you think of that?
Well, like Bob said in his post the other day, what a title. What a title. And I think a strong encapsulation of the unknown that Bob Dylan remains. There was a pre-existing title, it was Going Electric, which is about a definitive moment, which could have also been a great title, but the great thing about A Complete Unknown is, like I just said, it encapsulates the figure. It tries to encapsulate the figure that Bob is.
Did you have an expectation for what level of understanding you'd come to have of Bob Dylan?
No, I didn't have that expectation. I didn't. That's the short and true answer. What ended up happening is I had years to not even work's the wrong word, to sit and be in this material, to genuinely find my way in and around it. The time period, the other artists that influenced Bob, the artists Bob influenced, his early work, his early well-received work, his early work that was amplified, his early work that didn't make it onto albums, his early work that was amplified through bootlegs, early performances, early interviews, all the documentaries. And I just had the time, like I said, I had years. So there was no truncated process about this. You know, I didn't have the 3 or 4 months that usually feels quite generous before a movie to work on it. This was, much more than that.
How much of working with the other actors helped you in that respect?
Fantastically so. I mean, this is really an ensemble movie in my estimation. It's as much about Greenwich Village in that time period and the characters on screen like Johnny Cash or Joan Baez or Sylvia Russo or Pete Seeger, and how they impacted Bob and how they impacted him in different periods as much as he did to them. And I was just so proud and grateful for our cast because everyone carried the flag of their character. In other words, everyone fiercely defended their character and what their point of view would have been. I definitely felt it in playing it, so I hope it comes across.
What did you feel like? What was it like engaging with this project just as an idea of exploring what fame means?
The honest answer to that is I never really saw it as that. I saw it as a young artist who burgeons, and whether it's as a consequence of fame, like you put it, or other things in his life, is increasingly challenged to express himself.
I just want to ask you about the experience of the Newport Folk Festival sequence, in terms of filming that, in terms of how, why that sequence felt really important as the one to end the movie.
Well, I think it was a definitive moment in Bob's life, and I think it was a definitive moment in American pop culture at that time. It was sort of the gates getting flung open, and in the eyes of the folk community, a moment of blasphemy. And from a more objective point of view, in 2024, a moment, or the moment, where rock and roll, re-exploded in America. That the commercialized, sort of watered down rock and roll of the 50s that had tremendous artistic value in a sense, but was maybe more top down and aimed at a certain young demographic and was seen by the folk community as something to push sales and make money, had been repurposed by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and then Bob with Highway 61 and bringing it all back home to something that to today's ear would seem like part of culture and lore in the fabric of America, but at the time was really groundbreaking and was something I had to wrap my head around, and I hope audiences wrap their head around. So much of the music we listen to today being born in this moment, and Bob doing that at Newport in some ways being, the first punk moment, not literally, but sort of in expression.
I stepped in the middle of 7 sad forests.